Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do a quick market review on the US stocks, mainly NASDAQ, ES, and the Dow, which play out to pretty much the entire stock market. If you watched my previous 3 videos I've made prior to this one, or if you at least watched one of them, you could see at the chart we're looking at right now on April 9th, 2025, it has attacked all the sell side levels I mentioned. It has attacked all the levels that I anticipated, that I said it was going to attack. And I marked price out down to a T this past couple months. So if you have not watched the previous 3 videos, if I'm not mistaken, I recommend you do so. But new day, new week, new times, new anticipations. And as you can see, looking at NASDAQ 100 right now on the monthly time frame, it has attacked the levels that I mentioned, which was August 1st, 2024 low, May 1st, 2024 low, April 1st, 2024 low. It has attacked all those sell side levels that I wanted to see this month attack. And I've already taken a lot of profit on these positions. I've participated in these sells. I've done everything that I can to put myself in the market when I was anticipating it was supposed to go down. All these news events that are coming out, all the people that are participating now, we have a lot of participants because of market volatility, is when a lot of new people come into the market. A lot of retail comes into the market. And I'm just sitting on cash right now. I've already participated in this move. I've already made money on this move, and there's no need for me to trade until it sets up what I want to see set up. Now, as you could see, we had a large weekly wick to the downside. We attacked those monthly that I just mentioned. Weekly time frame, we attacked the January 15, 2024 weekly fair value gap that I meant. And also, when I'm mentioning these levels, notice that they are also reversing points in the market. They're my targets, but they're also points that price could reverse. As you could see with this weekly candle, and today, price ran up and cleaned most of the shorts from last week. So when I'm taking money out and I'm taking profits, there are people just now participating. So weekly time frame, we drove deep this week, just a little below that weekly fair value gap. I'm sure I mentioned this weekly fair value gap on December 11, 2023 as well. But the reason we drove a little bit lower was we needed to take out some more sell side This price wasn't going to stop at exactly where my cursor is here. They need to take sell side out. They need to take previous buyers out. Market needs to grab liquidity before it wants to head up higher. And the reason for the deeper drive down is because we had a new week opening gap that was very large this week that tricked a lot of people. If you don't know how to trade, and if you don't follow someone that knows how to trade, you either got wrecked or you're going to get wrecked. So the reason we had that deeper drive down at the open of Sunday is because we gapped down on Sunday open. And I used that gap to my favor. And when I dropped down to a lower time frame, you'll see how I use that gap into my favor. And when I get into this gap, I will get into my anticipation for next few weeks to potentially the next months ahead of us. Daily time frame. Today, large move up, and I'm not going to dive deep in on the lower time frame because this is not what we're doing. But bullish daily candle today, as we all saw. Notice what price did here on the daily candle. Sell side taken, and then they run price up. They took out a lot of orders down here and tricked a lot of retail into going short. And when you look at the daily time frame, sell side taken, and you have a large expansion up. Now, when I drop down to a 1 hour time frame, this is the new week opening gap. So this is the gap down I was talking about. That's why we drove down a little lower. And earlier on in the week, I did not like these equal lows. But notice these candles. Monday, March 7th, 2025, 6 a.m. drops down. A lot of sell side taken. A lot of retail gets tricked over here into still going short. We pushed price up, took buy side out. And something I don't want you to get confused is NQ, there's the equal low here, NQ1. So when I go look at NQ1, equal high, I'm sorry. This was not healthy. There was something this week that was going to come take this out, which was today. But when you look at NAS 100 chart, we just ran past that above just a little bit, which is fine. And I was taking shorts at 8 a.m. and at 11 o'clock, late 11 o'clock. I was taking shorts to attack back inside the gap and to attack all these equal lows and all these equal lows in here that I knew retail was longing. Also, when I'm taking trades in this range, I'm taking most of my profit out fast because I know what type of market I'm trading in. I know this is a highly, highly manipulative market. There's a lot of manual manipulation. So notice Tuesday, we dropped down, took more sell side out, and look where price stopped. Right at the low of new week opening gap. Yellow shaded box I have in here. What does retail do down here? They start shorting, especially with what's been happening in the market. So you have sell side taken, pushes up, drops back down, uses new week opening gap low, pushes up to the 50% of new week opening gap, pushes up to the high. Then you have that large expansion up to take out everybody that was shorting earlier on in the week and most of last week, which is very inefficient up here. Now, the moral of this picture, the moral of this story. The only way I go back to bearish bias, the only way I go back to bearish bias I'm going to say that one more time. The only way I go back to a bearish bias, and I'm going to draw it out for you, is if we fail, drive in to 50% of this 4-hour fair value gap, which is the yellow shaded box. So if we drive into the 50% of that and fail, and price starts showing resistance, and I'm getting candle closures at the below of that level, which aligns at this 1-hour point of interest. So I'm going to go back and draw this one more time. For the folks that don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you. So the 50% of that 4-hour fair value gap lands right at the 50% of this 1-hour FVG. So the only way I go back to being bearish bias is if we drive in and fail this 50% and I start getting candle closures, which lands at this 1-hour's 50% and that 4-hour time frame 50% where I have the green box drawn. We drop down and use the low as resistance, and we go back into the new week opening gap of this week, which I do not see happening this week. That's the only way price will attack these lows. And tomorrow is CPI. If CPI, they drop price down, 5:30 a.m. CPI, you have the fake move, and they drop price down, and price trades back up to that candle and uses that candle as an inversion, uses that candle as support for my retail folks that don't understand some of the language that I'm saying. This market is going to attack the high of the Trump candle. This is the Trump candle. This is when Trump released the tariffs at 1 o'clock. So they're going to be setting up price here on this right side. As of now, I have a bullish bias going into the next few weeks and next upcoming month. If price flips, am I going to lose money? No. Because I know how to keep myself in these market conditions. There's two scenarios. They fail this 10 a.m. candle, and it's going to drop to NWOG, and we're back to being bearish. Or we have sell side taken really fast, tricking retail into going short, and they reverse price and start running it up. And if you want a higher time frame analysis, there's going to be two videos dropped. This one's going to be the second one. I'm diving a little bit deeper on the play. Right now, I know I said I wasn't going to go back to the lower time frame, but this is 3 o'clock open. This ain't healthy, especially with these equal highs. So tomorrow, we most likely will chase out these highs. How they're going to set it up, we have a long time for that right now. We have a few hours. And we have 5:30 a.m. news. And then we have US Open. So how they're going to set it up is going to be interesting. But my bias going into the next day is bullish. If price flips, am I not going to be in it? I'm going to be in it. It just matters how they set it up. And I already gave you what I want to see for the flip. Daily time frame. We have a volume imbalance in here. And we have a inversion fair value gap. So if they want to make that lower wick on this daily, they can push it up and then start expanding it. They could do that. If they want to create a daily FVG for a new day to come tap into it and then expand, they could do that. So there's a lot they could do. But as of now, the lows have been made. As in, these lows have been made. And the only way they get down to those lows is if they fail the 50% of this candle on the 1 hour time frame, which would be the 50% of the 4 hour candle as well. As of now, I see them chasing the Trump candle, which is up here. Now there's a lot of manual manipulation. There is a lot of hand being thrown in the market, which is why you're having these large moves like today at 10 a.m., which is why the market has a lot of uncertainty. But as weeks and months go forward, we will see what happens. Something that's interesting on the monthly is how they're going to close the monthly candle. Because if this monthly candle wants to still leave a fair value gap, that means next month we'll drive into this fair value gap. Which is going to be very interesting. Weekly candle on ES. Same sell side levels I mentioned on NASDAQ. They've been all attacked. Monthly time frame as well. I said they would chase that monthly FVG from February 1st, 2024. All the sell side levels I mentioned attacked. And same exact setup that I explained on NASDAQ will happen on the ES. There's no need for me to drive or go over the ES because it's the same exact asset, almost the same exact asset, and it's going to have the same price action. ES, you have this gap in here that it could chase, and then the Trump candle high. The only way I go bearish is if they fail this 4-hour candle. So if they want to drop it down this 4-hour candle with that fake CPI move, or they just want to wick it a little bit and they start reversing price into this gap and the Trump candle, beautiful. That's what I would want to see. But if they want to, if they drop it down and use this 4-hour fair value gap and they start trading it and making new lower lows, then we'll attack sell side at the low. But I don't see that happening. Unless if something in the world blows up. Back to a lot of manual manipulation. Same situation as the Dow. Notice how it's the same picture. Trump candle high. This gap left behind. That's the 4-hour FVG. Tesla, one of people's favorite. Lows have been created. The only way this asset shorts is if we drive back into the weekly fair value gap that we longed from, which is pretty much the same scenario as I'm giving to you on NASDAQ. Weekly FVG, we reacted from the low. That's what I was watching this week. So whatever happened, this weekly FVG was going to give me the picture. And once we trade up and start trading above this purple box, which is this weekly fair value gap low, but this is a monthly FVG I'm watching, and we start trading above, and then we use the 50%, which lands at the February 24, 2025 candle, and we start using the low 50% and high as support, which we will once we get up here, because if I get up here, NASDAQ's going to be at those levels I mentioned. ES is going to be at those levels I mentioned. Dow is going to be at those levels I mentioned on the top side, and we're back to being full-blown long. This will be inversioned and chase ATH. So fun week ahead, a lot of fun weeks and months ahead of us. And until the next market review, I will see you, ladies and gentlemen. Trade safe. These are all my opinions. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to do anything with this information. And have a blessed and beautiful day.